getting a pattern or something to cushion the seat.
for just a few.
It would be unfortunate if that fall damaged your internal organs.
You are, of course, welcome at any time. I hope you're not here to report something. If you are, it means you've seen far too much. I'm the acting head of Aegis, the intelligence division here in Mast. I oversee all our active projects and agents in the field, and I'm afraid that's about as much detail as I can give you. No, my parents would never have been so presumptuous. Every agent who joins Aegis gets to choose a pseudonym, pending approval, of course. I chose this for myself when I signed on. I have, of course, since learned that I am not nearly as smart as I thought I was as a younger man. I suppose none of us are. All you really need to know is that we're here to serve and we're the good guys. Our main priority is the safety and security of the citizens and assets of the United Colonies, wherever they may be. We keep an eye on, well, everything. Well, you're certainly entitled to that opinion, and there are plenty of others who share it. We'll be looking out for you just the same. Ah, right. You're Sergeant Yumi's recruit. You're taller than I expected. I shouldn't, but I always do. Part of the job, really. We're always trying to fill in the blanks. In any case, let me fill you in. We have a dead drop that we think has been compromised. So I'd like someone from UC Security to handle the pickup instead. Take the package back to Sergeant Yumi and he'll check it in as evidence before it gets routed back to Aegis. We think non-UC affiliated groups have their eye on it and are using it to identify field agents. Normally, we just burn the location, but we didn't get this intel until after the drop. So we're going to need non-Aegis personnel to do the pickup to cover our tracks. Take the Nat to the spaceport. There should be a Galbank ATM right next to the station. The package is taped under one of the benches. Grab it and deliver it to Sergeant Yumi and the job's done. You really should know better than to ask for classified intel. What is this, your first day on the job? Don't worry, I'm just giving you a hard time. I still can't tell you what's in the package, though. Good luck with the mission.
Hey. Not enough data. I can't file a report just based on this.
Does the investor still have questions? Go ahead and ask. Aegis? They're basically UC intelligence. They help identify threats to New Atlantis before they become problems. While we're separate departments, there are times we need to rely on each other, so it's important to keep a good working relationship. We do Agent Plato this favor, and maybe he'll toss us some intel when an investigation is stalled. Tit for tat. You know how it works. Nicely done. It's really hard to find good help these days. That being said, my luck seems to be turning around. We've gotten a lot of new personnel as of late, not just you. Who knew all I had to do was put up a sign? Well, I have you now, so I probably won't hire another person for a while. Anyway, here's your payment. And if I have any more work for you, I'll let you know.
Captain, Constellation will be waiting for you at the lodge. I have often asked Barrett that same question at various times, and about various individuals that wanted to cause us harm. The most likely answer is that Barrett personally insulted him, typically by continuing to live, usually after escaping from certain death, and often with an object multiple people wanted. Commencing.
got limited resources. I try not to turn anyone away just because they're light on credits.
We're doing the best we can here.
Three gunshots this week alone. I guess we know where UC Security's priorities are.
There are always about a million things to do, and I'm only one person. It's so overwhelming. Hey! Oh, you're not Carl. Sorry, I shouldn't assume. Maybe you go by Carl. You're just not the Carl I was waiting for. We're supposed to be investigating a power drain down here. People have been reporting brownouts for a while, and Mass finally decided to follow up on it. I can't be in two places at once, and Carl isn't here, so I'm just trying to look inconspicuous. Co-worker of mine on this assignment with me, clearly not taking it seriously. Not really surprising. Most folks are fine with ignoring what goes on down here. We're trying to isolate a power drain, which looks like it's the result of a large amount of power being rerouted through various subsystems. But it's kind of a two-person job. Someone needs to find the junction boxes associated with those subsystems and power them down. The other person needs to monitor the system remotely. It's pretty simple, really, and relatively safe. Only a small chance of electrocution. Well, since you're here and Carl isn't, and I really want to get this solved, I will take you up on that. What I need is very technical. I can talk you through it remotely. I'm gonna head to the monitoring station. The first box we're looking for is over near UC Surplus. You know, Antonio's place. I can contact you once you get there.
maximizing your health.
All right, you should be near the next junction box. This section isn't used very much these days, so maybe a little harder to see. That's the one. Next one's not too far. Dead end, right down from Jake's. Right under that apartment they've been trying to sell. Good luck with that, right?
Lodge is here in the city. I will accept any and all items. Captain, Constellation am I currently in? Do you The Lodge is here in the city. How can I be of assistance? Captain, Constellation will be waiting. How may I be of...
I wish I could go with you on your ship. Sorry, I can't play right now. I'm grounded. Hello. spaceship?
Nice to meet you.
You should be near the next junction box. And if those squatters never cleared out, I would suggest avoiding eye contact. It should be fine. Another switch flipped, another lead to follow. And the lights in here just flickered too. The wiring is worse than I thought. I'm going to work on fixing that little issue while you find the next junction box. Looks like it's over near the Trade Authority. Okay, just find that and, maybe don't talk to anyone about it just yet. Okay, the final box I need you to deal with should be right around there. Unfortunately, I just realized you're in for a real tangle of cabling. Like 200 years of field attempts to rewire things. I tried to fix it 3 years back and was crying by the second day. Gave up on the third. Anyway, there should be a series of secondary breakers you need to deal with before you can access the junction box. I don't remember the order, but flip levers until all those circuits are powered down. Wow, you got it. Really well done. You saved me like a week of work. Why didn't you meet me at the monitoring station, near where we met?
What's with the staring? You need something? Not pilot exams.
Did I say thank you? Because thank you. There's no way I could have done that in a reasonable amount of time all by myself. Right, sure. Of course. Thanks to your help, I was able to trace the power drain. I know where it's coming from. Unfortunately, the source is exactly where I was afraid it was. The Trade Authority. So that's something that I'll need to deal with. That'll be fun. If you want to tag along, I certainly wouldn't complain, but if not, then this is where we part ways. So thanks to you, we've got evidence that the Trade Authority is behind the power drain being reported down here. I don't know if you ever dealt with the Trade Authority, but Zoe is intimidating. I have to go in there, but I really don't want to. You think you'd be willing to go with me? Just make sure this doesn't go badly? I don't know. I feel like I'm the one who's going to wind up in trouble. Zoe's got a way of twisting things. Thanks. That means a lot. I can do the talking, I think. Just be ready for, well, anything.
Someone's power kept going out. You know what it was?
A visit
Healy
from
just long as
Mast.
my leg.
How delightful. You'll have to remind me of your name, dear. I'm afraid I can't keep track of all your little worker notes.
I'm Luisa Reyes. Well, you know that, because I've been in here 3 times.
Yes, of course you are. And what was it you were accusing me of with absolutely no evidence?
The power drain is coming from your building, Zoe. You and I both know it, and now I can prove it.
I'm sorry, what?
We traced the drain, checked the grid. It led us here. You can't talk your way out of this.
I'm going to ask you to wait here a moment. I'll be right back.
Okay, just be ready for anything. I don't know if she's going to come out of there with a gun or call in mercenaries or what. I don't want this to turn out violent if we can avoid it, okay? That's dramatic, but reassuring, I guess.
Well, Miss Reyes, I apologize for not taking this matter more seriously. I assure you I will eagerly assist in getting to the bottom of this.
No, you're not weaseling out of this. We got to the bottom of it. You are the bottom.
I appreciate your enthusiasm for your work, but I'd do a little more research before casting aspersions. Someone has indeed been using this location through which to route electrical power. It is not the Trade Authority. I've had my suspicions for a while, and have been keeping detailed notes, which I'm happy to share with you. For now, though, what do we do next?
Wait, what?
Oh, for heaven's sake. I presume you've been assisting Miss Reyes in tracking down this little problem. Well, clearly there's more work to be done. Why don't you continue the work you've been doing with an assurance that the Trade Authority will compensate you for your time? I'll coordinate things here with Miss Reyes. With Mast's access to the grid, we'll find out who did this soon enough. And why. Presumably, you're the one who's been doing the field work, so I believe you'll find there's another junction box out there in the well that needs your attention.
Okay, well, this is not how I saw this going. For the moment, let's assume this is all legitimate. I can sort out the details with Zoe. So why don't you go investigate the next junction box? The sooner you find the source of all this, the sooner it can be over.
Mess with me and I'll serve you my famous
Boo! Did I scare you?
Hi, mister.
Hey there, you should be getting close.
Hello? Is this functional? I insist that you provide updates for any suspicious activity. Is that clear?
And Zoe's here too, if you hadn't guessed. We've agreed to work together on this. That's it, thanks. Let's just take a look here. Okay, you're going to want to head for box 45A. It should be near Apex Electronics.
You can't possibly be serious. Are you looking at the same diagram I am? 47B is obviously the next one. It's on the same level.
Zoe, I know how to read. Ignore her. Head for box 45A, okay?
box should be just nearby. Well, solved in short order. Adequately done. Miss Reyes and I have both noted that the next node in this trace is not on any of the current diagrams.
She means it's not in the well. It's somewhere on the surface, which technically means it's not my responsibility.
However,
We agreed that we all like to see this through. If you head topside, I'll pull up the diagrams we need.
Miss Reyes is still collecting the necessary diagrams and blueprints to accurately assess the situation. Before she returns, I'm going to make you an offer. Whatever you find at the end of this path, you bring it to me first. I'll be certain that Mast gets what it needs. But I trade in valuable information. I suspect you're going to find some. I guarantee you the Trade Authority will pay well. Consider that as you head towards the residential district. We can't pinpoint the source yet, but it's somewhere over there.
Although I have attempted an analysis several times, I simply cannot quantify humans' addiction to caffeine. The lodge is here in the city.
That's just not the way to handle the situation.
Nice day for a picnic.
Hey, you should be getting close. Looks like it's somewhere near Athena Tower. Zoe says there's a junction box on the building's exterior. I'm not sure why she knows that.
One never knows when information might be useful.
Okay, well, we're going to discuss that later. I'll check in once you flip the switch. Well, that's unexpected. Powering down that junction doesn't show any other connections.
Clearly, the source must be inside that residential tower.
Yeah, that would make sense. You know, I think I remember seeing a report about power problems on one of the upper floors. I bet it's related. See if you can get up there.
installation will be I will keep your items safe, Captain.
Everything good? We're here to help.
Hi. How you doing?
Have you got the data? So you tracked it down. You've got something to show for it? Great. I'll get this back to Mass for analysis. I'm not stupid. I know Zoe probably made you an offer. I appreciate that you didn't take it. And I'm really glad we got to work together on this. So, looks like we have someone thought they could hack into Galbank's system. In fact, looks like maybe they did. Still want to claim you had nothing to do with this, Zoe?
My dear, why in the world would I want to break the law? And Galbank, no less. I do quite enough business with them as it is.
All right. Well, I'll have some people look over this. Maybe they'll be in touch.
I very much doubt that.
See you around.
Hi there.
If there's something you need, no matter what it is, either I have it or I can get it.
Kay's place is like a second home. Problem is, Sometimes that's just how things are.
Nice hat.
Crime has slowed down since you started helping out, which is good for morale. It's a lot of work, as always. People like to say, New Atlantis is the safest city in the settled systems. How hard could your job be? Well, safety doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people. Yep. Something just came in. Scuffle over at the Dawn's Roost. Security on site handled it, but now one of them is saying the other guy stole his wedding ring. Problem is, he left without identifying the perp, so I need you to talk to Royce Elgin at the Dawn's Roost. See if you can fill in the gaps. Men like him aren't very generous with their time. They want you to solve a case without ever having to lift a finger themselves. Not that he'd be much of a witness, given that he was still half drunk when he got here and somehow even more so when he left. Sorry, wrong word. Rich people don't get drunk, they get inebriated, which is another way of saying highly unreliable. Good. Report back here when the matter's resolved. You're saying? A restaurant over in the residential district. Caters to a very fancy clientele. It's the kind of place where folks come in different sizes, depending on the food. According to the patron, the ring is valuable, but if I had to guess, not for sentimental reasons. Normally, when someone loses a valuable keepsake, they're heartbroken. The way this guy was acting, it's almost as if he lost a wallet full of creds. Let me know if you have any questions.
There is simply no parallel to the food you will find here. One take. All of our signature dishes are unique to the Roost. You won't find anything like them anywhere else. The Dawn's Roost represents the highest quality, from the ingredients to the decor. No expense is spared. Anyone who has sampled our offerings will assure you it is all worth it. Right away.
A most unfortunate incident, complicated by the fact that both parties were inebriated. While I wasn't privy to the entire argument, Hugo and Octavio have been dining here together for quite some time. So, it was surprising to see them at each other's throats. Oh, yes, quite often. They had a usual table over in the far corner, with all the traditional accoutrements. Music, candles, wine. You see where I'm going with this. But this time the two had barely sat down before the argument got heated. Thankfully, security stepped in before anyone got hurt. Well, the one who stayed with UC Security, Octavio, is a shorter man, handsome and refined. His favorite menu item is the Sept, I believe. The other, Hugo Fournier, is a tall, slender gentleman with a French accent. Excellent tipper, well-mannered, but a bit hot-tempered. I wasn't witness to any theft, and both men were wearing rings, if I recall correctly. I assume that would be the slender gentleman, Hugo Fournier. He was the one who excused himself after UC Security arrived. I believe he lives in Athena Tower, although he may be checking out soon. But I would start there.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
So after an hour of whining, you're finally out.
Yes. Oh, I can't believe that Octavio. That liar, that manipulator, that... That lying, cheating, foul piece of Dawn Glider dropping. If I had my way, I'd tie him to the back of a ship and jump it right into the nearest star. 5 years we were together, half a decade! And he threw it all away for that waiter. It was supposed to be a romantic dinner, our last before we pledged our lives to each other. But an hour before, I decided to do some cleaning to calm my nerves. I picked up a pair of pants he left on the floor, and out falls a napkin from the Dawn's Roost with a number written on the back. To think he had the audacity to schedule a date with me at the same restaurant? I was livid! Still, I went to the date and held it together just long enough for the waiter to serve us, then I went off! He would say that, but as far as I'm concerned, it's my property. He gifted it to me when he proposed. It's not his to return. I don't care. I'm not giving it to you. True, I don't want to go to prison. I've heard stories and they rarely end well. I am not being stubborn, I am being realistic. I think my lawyer would disagree. Either way, if Octavio wants to take me to court, then so be it. I don't care if you're with UC Security, I have rights. And as far as the ring goes, I don't know what the law says, but I doubt you do either. As soon as my assistant finishes packing my things, I'm taking the not just dating, betrothed. And I have the engagement ring to prove it. No, there are some things in life that cannot be repaired. Cheating is his way of saying, I don't love you. And without love, what's the point? He would say that, but he gifted it. We're not having this argument again, but maybe you can convince me later after I've cooled down. I've never felt so betrayed. He would say that. He gifted it. I'm glad you could see reason. This ring is going to fund a very long vacation across the settled systems. Maybe I'll even take pictures.
What can I do for you? Ah, perfect. Did you manage to get the ring back? Really? I should have known this was a waste of time the moment I laid eyes on that drunk. That's on me. Without saying names, there are some people in this city who treat us like their personal security service. But you know how it goes. Sometimes we protect, other times we serve. Either way, I'm still going to pay you for your time. Here, take this. It's well deserved.
I have a feeling today's going to be a great day.
Ah, well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? I hadn't expected to run into you again. Indeed I am. The success of my previous venture, with which you so kindly assisted, has been brought to the attention of Mast. There is growing concern. Oh my. A bit of an unintentional pun, isn't it? Well, concern that things are going to get worse. The data we gathered points to a definitive trend. The vibrations coming from this tree are increasing in strength and frequency. Because we've never seen this before, not on this scale, we have absolutely no idea what the upper limit is. We don't know when or even if this will stop. It's imperceptible by normal human standards now, but given time. While I hesitate to speculate on the possibilities, well, none of them are good. I am attempting to formulate one, yes. But until I have all of the relevant information, it is impossible to do so. There is data regarding other, younger members of the species. Unfortunately, there are some, shall we say, personal issues with acquiring it. Personnel issues, if you understand me. Not necessarily, but if you're offering your services, you've certainly proven to be reliable help in the past. One of the other researchers in Mast, Emilio Hadek, has research I believe could be vital to my work here. He and I don't see eye to eye, and so far he's refused to turn it over to me. I'm hoping that if someone else were to ask, he might be more inclined to relinquish it. What do you say? He's held a grudge against me for years. It's petty, really. I'm sure he thinks that doing this now will hold back my career. He wouldn't listen when I tried to explain this isn't about me. There are bigger concerns. I suggested nothing of the sort. Although, now that I think about it, I confess, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Anyway, no. I just need his data. I am sure that can be acquired without force, or the threat of it. 90% sure. The last time I saw him, he was being assigned to sample collection out near the agricultural areas. I'm sure you'll find him there.
When really keeps the distribution.
Of all the assignments they could have given me. Could you stand a little to the left? I think you're blocking my readings. Trees? I see what's going on here. You're working with Kelton, aren't you? Nice try, but it's not happening. No. No way. Kelton is actively ruining my career. There's no chance that I'm helping him with anything. Whatever this thing is he's on about, he's just doing it to make himself look good with the higher-ups. I'm not helping him with that. Right. Of course, we're all in danger. Trees are involved after all. He really won't let this go, will he? Maybe I can make this work in my favor. Okay, you know what? I'll hand over the data. But I'm only going to do so after you've helped me secure a better position in Mast. Well, then I guess we don't have anything else to discuss, and Kelton can just forget about getting his hands on the data. See you around. Changed your mind, did you? Willing to help me get a promotion? Oh, don't worry. You're just going to erase some files for me. Make sure I look good next time promotions get passed around. Fine. I'll figure out some other way to get what I want.
I am picking up faint signs of life in the area. I am not picking up the enemy on my scanner. feel pain, but I hear terrible.
I'm not dying here!
Performance in that conflict was beyond adequate.
hope you have the data. It's really quite crucial. You're absolutely right. I don't want to know. I'm sorry if this was complicated. I'd prefer to remain unaware of the details in the event that it comes up later, particularly in a legal setting. And I suppose I'd better verify the data to make sure Emilio didn't double-cross me. But you have once again come through for me. I'm truly hoping that this is the last piece I need to figure out what we can do. Clearly, I am doing all I can to avoid that. Thank you for your assistance. Thank you again. Again, don't tell me how you got this slate from Emilio. I don't want to know.
library, just inside. If Barrett were here, he'd probably tell you that you're part of something bigger now, and he hopes you'll make this place your home. This way, Captain. Barrett would say that billions of years ago, we were all one with the cosmos, so technically you have known each other forever. But the more practical answer is likely that he needs you. The number of known people who have been affected by the artifacts is now 2. Without your investment in Constellation's mission, he may never know more about the experience you both share. So he is showing you trust in order to gain your support.
We appear to have a visitor.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about. Would you care to tell us what happened to our friend? Why you're here and he isn't? Sarah Morgan, Chair of Constellation. That means anything you discussed with Barrett is my business. Now, if you would please answer my question. I see. Vasco, verify.
All statements made have been factual.
This is just typical. Barrett hands over our ship and our robot to some random employee of that discount mining outfit he uses.
Walter.
And if we hadn't insisted on installing those emergency protocols, I guarantee you this rock breaker here would be halfway to Neon.
But that didn't happen. He's here with the artifact.
Thank you, Matteo. Now, let's focus on what's in front of us, shall we? What happened when it was extracted? Did anyone see anything? Hear anything? Interesting. Similar to Barrett's description of the experience, with less embellishment.
There. Are you hearing this? Do you all believe me now?
Whether it happened or not wasn't in doubt. But honestly, Country, if you expect us to believe in fairy tales...
If this is the greatest mystery in the universe, why couldn't it be part of the ultimate mystery?
But gentlemen, can we please focus? Noel, I think it's time we tested your theory.
Right. Let's see. We know the artifacts react to each other. The pieces we already have move when they're in close contact. Now, if we add this new one to the two we already have...
The artifact. If you could place it on the table here.
That's it. Just like the others. And to imagine, we thought there were only 2 of them at first.
Oh my god, that's it. They're reacting. Look at how it's coming together. That energy that's arcing between them, no manufactured material in the settled systems can do that. None of them. This proves
Easy, girl. Breathe. You'll have a heart attack.
She's not the only one. If they're coming together, that means there's a set.
Built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
Still 2,000 credits for our little wager, Country?
You're on, Walter.
Well, if we had all the answers, it wouldn't be exciting, now would it?
Not to take away from the moment, but what are we going to do about our new friend here?
So, are you ready to get to work? See if exploration is the life you want to lead in this little universe of ours? We're all here because we're committed to exploring space. Humanity may have settled the stars, but that doesn't mean we should stop diving into the unknown. Beyond that, you'll be expected to use your own judgment, just like the rest of us. Individually, they're just odd hunks of metal, another oddity from the uncharted reaches of space. As to what they are, what they're building, well, you'll be part of solving that puzzle now. You should take some time to get settled in. Introduce yourself to everyone. Some of our members aren't here, but you'll meet them soon. Come find me when you're ready. You and I are going to be doing some traveling together. Get your feet wet. And here, I think you've earned something for bringing the artifact to us. In addition to credits, why don't we set you up with a backpack with some boost capability? Need it out in the field anyway. Just mind your head.
myself spending more and more time here. Business has appealed to me, but this is exciting.
I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this. Constellation, the artifacts. That doesn't sound crazy, does it?
Your father dropped by. He left a note for you. Here. That was intense, wasn't it? The artifacts, I mean. Sorry, this must all be a little overwhelming for you right now. I guess a lot overwhelming, now that I think about it. I'm Noelle. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for bringing the artifact to us. Well, Constellation's been around forever, more than 50 years now. But we only became aware of the artifacts recently. Barrett discovered the first one about 2 years ago, right under our noses. And he was the one who got this all in motion. It's a shame he isn't here to see this.
You know Constellation's been keeping me busy.
I wasn't born yesterday.
Oh, right, that. If we're approaching this rationally, I suppose we'd call them visual and auditory hallucinations. What you perceived as lights and music could be overloaded neural input, your brain's attempt to make sense of something, an energy surge, some other phenomenon. He did. At the time, well, it's Barrett. We weren't sure if he was kidding around. Clearly, he wasn't. Sure, I'm not trying to suggest otherwise. I wasn't there when it happened. I'm just thinking it through. It's okay. Now that this has happened to both you and Barrett, we can know to maybe expect it in the future. Be a little more prepared. We're all in this together now, right? Oh gosh, no. I mean, that's flattering, but really, we're making this up as we go. Until you arrived, we only had the two, and the vaguest sense that there was something more at work. There's still so much we don't know, and that means a lot of work ahead of us. Planning on sticking around then? Good. I think we can find a spot for you. And along the way, I can give you the very abbreviated tour. Right. So you've seen the library, obviously. Walter's quite proud
I hope
of
you're
the
still
collection.
glad you joined
but
the
Mateo
Constellation,
has made
Noelle.
more than a few contributions.
Just making sure.
Gardens are
Like
out the
young
doors
girl
there.
like you,
if you need
there
a
are
moment
no
of quiet
shortage of
contemplation.
opportunities.
Emphasis on the quiet part, at least usually. Let's head upstairs. Sebastian Banks, Constellation's founder, had this place built decades ago. It was a big to-do at the time, but most people in the city have forgotten we're here.
I am at your service, Captain.
So this is the bar. Usually no tender, so help yourself, within reason, of course. Now let's see about that room. You're in luck. We were almost at max occupancy already, but there's still one room up for grabs. It's been nice having the place so full. Okay, this'll be you. Common room on one side, so that'll be quiet, and Mateo on the other side, so maybe a little less quiet. I'm sure Sarah has something planned for each of us, so I'd better get back to it. Don't want to keep her waiting too long. Enjoy.
This is all
Captain, now that also, given the likelihood that you will be out in unsettled space, it might be beneficial to go over exploration outpost development, in case you ever need to build a base for field research. Captain, I will proceed to my assigned post. Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied with the results. I will... The exploration of an unknown planet can be a major undertaking. By building an outpost, you will be able to construct scanning equipment, resource extractors, and defenses. It is even possible to set up multiple outposts capable of manufacturing, allowing you to build advanced equipment. A planetary scan will reveal the presence of key inorganic resources, although rarer elements will be harder to find without training. And while a scan may detect the presence of life on a planet, you will have to analyze the native plants and animals yourself to know what compounds they produce. The blueprints you need to construct an outpost should already be on your watch. It will automatically connect to any available materials for construction in your ship's cargo. Good day, Captain.
Hello there, Vasco.
it. So, are you ready to get to work? Or was there something else?
Walter, I hope I'm not overstepping here, but you don't seem to spend much time at home. How is that not a problem for your wife? It's true.
We're going to be doing some old-fashioned detective work. The artifacts are relatively inert once they're out of bedrock. That means people can pass them around, not even knowing what they are. I've been letting my contacts know to be on the lookout for strange metal objects. Get back a lot of noise, usually, but a tip from the UC Vanguard sounds promising.
Okay then. I guess if you're both okay with it.
Felt the same way when I started too. There's an electricity in the air when you know you're about to uncover something. But it's not just that. I want to take this opportunity to see how you handle yourself, and for you to learn more about us. I'm going to be sticking with you for this. We'll be traveling together until we either find an artifact or this lead runs dry. We'll need to head to Mast. Check in with the Vanguard recruiting office where my contact works. And listen, whatever you were before or whatever you do once you're out there, I don't care. So long as you don't bring UC security to our doorstep. Every member of Constellation is their own conscience. Understood? I mean, Constellation has a roster of members who haven't always been on the right side of their respective society. We're risk takers. Some of us have seen the inside of a jail cell more than once. If you join us, it means you're committed to our mission. In exchange, we give you latitude in your choice of means. Good. Let's take a little stroll through New Atlantis, shall we?
Greetings, Captain.
Another space explorer. Hey, you ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, earn some credits, even get your UC citizenship? Excellent. Just need to do a little paperwork. An orientation on the UC, and knock out an exam, and a probationary mission. We need to know you'll be able to hack it out there after all. Do well. You'll be out there keeping the peace in no time.
Don't forget, John. I need him back after you wrap him in that fancy get-up of yours.
No worries, Sarah. I'm not forgetting about you or our little business afterwards. Promise. First things first, head down to the orientation hall. Get signed up at the registration terminal. System will walk you through the rest. Oh, and if you got a bounty, well, you're gonna have to make things right with the UC before we'll let you join. But if you've got any questions, I can get you sorted.
Evening, sir.
Yes? You needed something?
Registration accepted. You may now proceed through the historical displays in the orientation hall, or continue on to the examination.
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half-century, eliminating all life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later, the Galileo, the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
The effort and planning it must have taken to evacuate literally the entire planet. Can you imagine? The logistics alone must have been mind-boggling.
From their foundation, the United Colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC that still wanted something more: independence. So in 2161, the UC issued the Centaurus Proclamation, granting UC citizens the right to settle distant worlds and form their own sovereign powers. It wasn't long before the first new faction, the Free Star Collective, was formally organized in 2188, later followed by House Maroon, revealing themselves to the universe in 2230.
The result of the Centaurus Proclamation has always left me torn. So much conflict arose as a result. Was it worth it?
It was only in 2230 that the faction known as House Varoon first made contact with the rest of the settled systems. Founded by the passengers of a colony ship that had left New Atlantis and disappeared 4 decades earlier, House Varoon was a faction unlike any other. A theocracy dedicated wholly to the beliefs of its isolationist founder, Janan Varoon. House Varoon initially made overtures of peace towards the rest of the settled systems. They claimed their only intention was to spread the word of their god, the Great Serpent. But none could have guessed that this worship might take the form of a bloody war, the Serpent's Crusade. The Freestar Collective was initially founded in 2188, when the citizens of Aquila banded together with the pleasure city of Neon in mutual defense. But in 2194, after the deployment of a UC medical star station in orbit around their world, the citizens of Narion also requested to join the collective. The resulting rise in tensions between the Freestar Collective and UC culminated in the settled system's first intergalactic conflict, the Narion War. Despite a decisive victory by the UC, the colonies permitted the citizens of Narion to join the collective, forming the basis for the fiercely independent union that persists to this day. Beginning in 2240, House Varoon forces declared all-out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpent's Crusade. Over the next 23 years, thousands of Freestar, UC, and independent souls were killed by agents of House Varoon in the name of their serpent god. It was only with the death of their founder in 2263 and the succession of his heir, Jarek, that House Varun finally sued for peace. There remains, however, select members of House Varun who refuse to recognize the cessation of hostilities their leaders established. Even after House Varun's mysterious disappearance, these zealots remain a threat to all who encounter them. Their pacification, a goal of all space. Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Nerion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. Armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs, even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xenoweapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne that the scales finally tipped. The Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully crippled the superior United Colonies Navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any further human costs, accepted. The galaxy has been rebuilding ever since.
Colony War was a horrible conflict that irreparably ruined the settled systems. There were times I felt that it would never end.
Few settled worlds were left untouched by the colony war. But nowhere could the viciousness of modern warfare be seen more clearly than on the Freestar planet of Nira. Initially occupied by invading United Colonies forces as a forward operating position, repeated attempts to take and retake the planet by collective forces led only to devastation. Swaths of the world were transformed into scorched husks, a nightmarish testament to the depths of human ingenuity and human cruelty. And today, Nira remains a continuing reminder to the horrors of unfettered war.
I really hope this is just a phase.
In the midst of the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies war effort, Londinian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph. A rare but pervasive threat to all human-settled worlds, Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history. Valiant efforts by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable. Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londinian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londinian is mourned by the UC to this day. devastation wrought by the Colony War, the UC and the Freestock Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces, and that xeno-weapons and mech warfare would be outlawed. All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty. Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last.
I was a strong supporter of the Armistice. All of the terrible weapons that both sides used against one another. It had to end.